welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all doing well. You guys can tell from the background I am at home currently. I'm home for Easter, so for the next few weeks you're going to be seeing this lovely background in my videos. Also, I did forget to bring my ring light and tripod, so I apologise if the lighting is bad, and yeah, we're just making do like OG YouTube Abby over here. So as I'm filming this, it has been exactly a year since coronavirus was declared a pandemic and we were put into a lockdown, and literally like a year ago yesterday was the day that I left my house in Brighton to come home. Recently I was just looking at like all of my photos and videos over the past year, and I just realised how much has changed and how much I've grown and how many things that I've learned along the last year, and I thought that this would be a really great opportunity to just share with you guys some of the things that I've learned from the last year. So let's just get into the video. So the first thing I've learned, I think most people have learned, is that change is okay. It is okay if you aren't the same person as you were at the beginning of lockdown, like the beginning of the first lockdown. It's okay if your dreams and your goals have changed. I don't know if you guys know this, if you've been following my channel for a while, then you'll know that originally my dream in life was to be a musical theatre performer and an actress. However, the time in lockdown just made me realise all the other dreams that God has placed in my heart to unlock, and all the things that He wants to use me in, all the amazing things He wants to use me in. And I've just learned from that it's okay if you change your dreams, if you change your goals in life. I've learned that growth is okay, and growth is so important in life. Throughout your whole life you are on a journey to becoming who God has called you to be, which is what we believe as Christians, and I'm sure people who aren't Christians or aren't religious will still have that kind of view of, you know, you're here for your purpose, you're here to live out the life that you want to live, and growth is a key part of that. And if you're not going through a season of growth, or you're not constantly growing, then you're not doing it right, you're not going through life in the right way. I've also learned that it's okay when situations in life change, because it does make us more resilient. Just to have to adapt to change and everything just makes us as human beings and individuals so resilient. And if you look in the Bible through all the incredible people that God has used, they all went through so many battles and seasons of changes. You know, Job lost his family, his children, all his possessions were stripped away from him, and he was left in the desert. And that was a huge season of change, and he grew in resilience, and he grew in his relationship with God, and he just went from strength to strength. That is one of the big things that I've learned this year, is that change is so okay, and it's more than okay, it is necessary. Another thing I've learned is that you have to become your own best friend in life. You are the only person that is going to be going through your life with you from start to end, like the only person that's going to be with you for the whole of your lifetime. So you have to be your own best friend. And this past year we have spent the majority of the time with ourselves, realistically. And I know that I have, and I know that from this that I've learned how important it is to be my best friend, to be the person that I can come to when I'm struggling, to be someone who is just there for me. And I've just learned the importance of truly being kind to myself and treating myself the way that I would treat another friend, that I would treat my best friend. And it is true in life when they say that you are your own best friend, and I just think this year has completely solidified that, like that I need to be my own best friend, and I need to treat myself with the kind of love and respect that I would treat any of my friends with. The next thing I've learned is the importance of relationships. But also along the vein of that, it's okay for relationships to change in life. This past year I haven't been able to see the majority of my friends and family, or spend time with the people I usually would, as I'd assume most of you guys haven't. And this has taught me just how important these relationships are, and how important it is to invest time and effort into those when it's not as easy as it once was. When it's not as easy as simply just grabbing a coffee with a friend, or going over to my sister's house and seeing my nieces and nephews. When that isn't as easy, it just shows you how important it is to put the effort in, to make the effort to spend time and invest in that time and that relationship, when it's not something that is just such an easy thing to get hold of. I've also learned that it's okay if relationships change or you drift away from people. Everybody is on their own journey in life, and I think for me, like a lot of people, this season has helped me grow into this new person that I am, and that I really don't recognise who I was at the beginning, like before the lockdown. I just don't recognise that person. But in that, like, drifting away from friendships and losing friendships with those people that you once were friends with before is totally okay, and it is a natural part of life. I've always had very few people that I would class as my close friends anyway, and this time has really affirmed to me that it's okay if that's the case. It's okay if you only have a few friends that you can talk to, but it's so important to nourish and feed those relationships when it isn't as easy to do so as it would have been pre-lockdown. Next thing I've learned is the importance of taking care of your own mental health. This is something that I have been such an advocate for a long time. And for a lot of people, this has been a really difficult year, a difficult season where people have struggled with mental health, where levels of anxiety and depression have just completely, reached an all-time high. And for a lot of people, this has been a year of anxiety, stress and uncertainty. And this year has taught me just how important it is to take care of my mental health, to be aware of when I'm not okay, to be aware of when I'm struggling, and to make the appropriate steps to help myself feel better. This time has also given me the space to do what I need to do to help me in my recovery from my anxiety disorder, which I've spoken about a lot on my channel over the last few years, where now I am over a year free of panic attacks, which I never genuinely thought I would be saying. If I told myself a year ago that a year later that would be the position I've been standing in, I genuinely wouldn't have believed it. And I think this has given me that space and that time to really make that happen. I've also learnt to prioritise my own happiness, doing what makes me happy and feeds my soul and not draining it. Doing activities and spending time with people that feed me and don't drain me. And I think that is so important. YouTube has been such a source of happiness and joy for me, being able to make content and put videos out there. And I love it, and I still love it. Being a part of my small group and having this space where I've been a small group leader has helped me to unlock this new aspect of spiritual growth that I absolutely love. And I've just learnt the importance of just doing the things that make you happy, which is so simple. But when you're in a lockdown and everything is taken away from you, the things that you feel like you have to do, as a student, I feel like I have to go on nights out. I feel like I have to go out and get drunk and drink with my housemates. But that isn't something that brings me happiness, and that isn't something that brings me joy, and if that does for you guys, that is perfectly okay. But what truly brings me happiness is sitting inside and watching movies and reading a book and going to a coffee shop. And I've learned that that isn't something that makes me happy, so I don't have to go out clubbing. That isn't what makes me happy. And just to prioritise those things that do make me happy. I've learned how to love myself, gain confidence and see my worth. Time with myself has helped me to develop a better relationship with myself for sure, and I still have a way to go. I still have things that I need to tackle, insecurities that I need to face and things I need to get past. However, this time has allowed me to see myself the way that God truly sees me. I've developed a lot more confidence in myself the last year. I've been able to see the value in and all the amazing things that God has placed in my heart and in my path and all the things He wants me to do. And I truly feel now, coming out of this lockdown, that I am who God has called me to be, and I am on that path and on that journey to get to that point. And it excites me so much to think about where God's going to take me in 5 years time, 10 years time, 15 years time, what He's going to do through me and how He's going to use me, and just being able to spend time with God in His Word and just being able to focus on who God sees me to be, as opposed to when you're outside of lockdown and when you're on social media, just what the world says of you. I just feel like a different person completely. I think that's just the message of the whole video. I've learned not to rely on church for my faith, which is something that I think a lot of people have had to do. The last year we haven't been able to go to church in person every week, which is something that is my routine, it's part of my routine, and up until lockdown I'd go to church on a Tuesday night and on a Sunday. And I know for a lot of people, we haven't been able to go to church, or we've been doing church from home. And this has been a great thing, because this has taught me the importance of having a relationship with God of my own that doesn't rely on going to church every Sunday and rely on other people's faith. You know, getting set on fire through other people's faith. I'm having to set my own fire and stir my own passion instead of relying on other people's. I've learned the importance of being physically, mentally and spiritually healthy, which I've actually filmed a video on, so little plug, I'll put it in the eye if you guys want to check it out. But this year has really taught me that if any of these aren't met constantly for me in my life, I really struggle, and I've learned how to meet those areas for me. I've learned how to meet my physical needs, my mental needs, my emotional needs, my spiritual needs. All of those things I've learned to be able to meet to the point where it makes everyday life so much more easier. I've learned that I actually love eating healthily, and I love working out. I've learned that I love running, which is really random, and I never thought I would. I've learned just how important it is to switch off social media. I think at the beginning of lockdown, everyone was quick to jump onto social media as a means of communicating with the world and keeping on top of everything that's going on. But for me, with everything that had gone on over the last year, social media had definitely been something that had affected me a lot, which I know is the case for a lot of other people too. When you're having constant streams of information about the pandemic and the virus that make you feel terrified, which, while it's important to be constantly informed, it is also important to take the time away and just shut that off and just be present and just remember that that isn't the be-all and end-all. It made me feel so anxious, and going on social media, on Instagram, and seeing everybody's perfect lives had an effect on me. And I think that's had an effect on a lot of people too. But over the last year, I've just learned even more of the importance of cutting that out. I have deleted TikTok. I gave that up for Lent, and I don't see myself wanting to download it again. And I also deleted Twitter. However, I've just learned the importance of being able to cut down and limit the time that I'm on these platforms and the people I'm following that aren't making me feel good, that are making me feel worse. And from that, my mind just feels so much clearer, because I'm not constantly being bombarded, and my brain isn't just being constantly surrounded by all these people living these perfect lives, which we all know is not the case. You know, when you go on social media and you see influencers going on holiday, which is a whole different ball game, it can get easy to think that your life isn't perfect and you're not at where you should be. However, I've learnt that it's okay. Switch off social media, you don't need it, it's fine, it is okay. I've learnt truly that I am not in control of my life, but God is. This time has taught me that I have to rely on God so much more than I was doing, which I think is the case for a lot of people. I have to rely on God constantly. I've learnt that God is my only constant source of peace, which honestly, for people who go through situations without faith, I really struggle to understand how you do it, because for me, God is that sense of peace for me. He is that one thing in life that is constantly always there. And I've learnt that though I can't see the purpose of a season that I'm in my life, God has the plan for it, and I have a purpose because of Him. I don't know, that's just something that I've really learned, just having to surrender everything to God. Not being able to be in control of my social life, of my health, of my family, but knowing that in the midst of how it just felt like nothing was under control and everything was just crazy, God is in control and God is there, and He will always, always, always be there. And I think that has affirmed that for me, and it has truly affirmed that for me, that He is the one that is in control. And the final thing, the number 10 thing, I should have said I had 10 things, but the 10th thing that I've learned from the last year of lockdown is not to take things for granted and to be grateful for the small things. I don't think I will ever take for granted getting to go to a church service on a Sunday. I will never take for granted being able to spend time with my family and my friends. I've learned to be so grateful for a sunny day when it's nice weather and I can sit in the garden or I can go on a little walk and enjoy God's creation around me. I think this time has just taught me to just be grateful for all those little things in the everyday, as opposed to focusing on all the big things that I want to achieve, just being grateful for those small things. And I think that's something that a lot of people have learned too. So those were the 10 things that I have learnt from the last year of lockdown. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you are new and click the bell next to it so you get notified every time I upload. I upload videos every Thursday at 4 PM and I make faith, lifestyle and positivity related content, so make sure you subscribe if you're interested in any of those areas. Also go follow me on all my social media. They are in the description box below and they're on the screen somewhere, and let me know in the comments anything that you guys have learnt this year, because I think it would be so great to just create a platform where we can all share all these amazing things that we've learned. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a blessed week and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!